What's up guys, Americana back here with another video. Bitcoin dominance is likely going to see a massive spike, but I don't want you guys to worry. This is nothing out of the normal and we've covered it on this channel before. Let's go over all the reasons why you shouldn't be scared to see a large move come out of Bitcoin dominance in the coming weeks or months. So let's get into the video. All right guys, this is going to be a fast moving video. There is plenty of things to cover and we are going to cut some of the topics short. I have a video back probably 9 months, maybe 6 months, something like that. It's something about the safety trade. So if you go to my channel and type in safety trade or scroll down until you see me mention safety trade, that was the last time that I covered this video. So we'll quickly go over the chart because it's a little bit complicated, but I mainly want to show you the relationship it has with Bitcoin dominance, or its job it does in explaining why this Bitcoin dominance spike isn't something that you should be worried about. So do direct your attention to the white chart on the top of the screen. This is something that we have been following for a long time now. What this is, if we look up on the top left-hand side, is Bitcoin dominance plus Ethereum dominance plus USDT dominance plus USDC dominance. Now, what is the importance behind this chart? It serves a few purposes. When we see this thing bottoming out and rising, not only does it mean we are likely entering a bear market, like we see back in 2021, but it's not until this chart begins to move sideways that we start to see relief in the altcoin market. Let me explain. Let's just think about this for a second. During these bear market times, during these turbulent times, what's happening? What are people doing with their capital? People are rotating back to Bitcoin. People are rotating into stronger coins like Ethereum, and people are rotating into stable coins, which are all included in this chart here. So when we see this thing rising, we can assume that the dominance in those assets is increasing, which is not going to be good for any of your altcoins, even your majors, which is what we see in a typical bear market where last cycle coins like Cardano were down like 80%, 85, 90% even, not untypical of a bear market. Now, what happens in here to cause us to go sideways? And this can be a few different things. A majority of the sideways movement, in my idea, is actually going to come from stablecoin dominance, stopping its rise. It can also come from things like Bitcoin dominance decreasing, like we see in here, or any combination of the two. And the point is, the environment that you see when this does show up on the chart is one where money is flowing around, right? Money is moving into stablecoins here, going into Bitcoin, and then Ethereum's catching a rally, back into stablecoins for a pullback. Money is kind of starting to actually flow in and out of the market instead of just trending into safety for a prolonged period of time. Now, just like Bitcoin dominance, when this moves down, this is when the real fun of the market starts. So this is going to trigger a lot later than Bitcoin dominance. Now, why is that? Is because we also need Ethereum dominance moving down at the same time. What type of market are we going to be in if Bitcoin dominance and Ethereum dominance is moving down at the exact same time? That is like peak euphoria alt season environment right there. You have Bitcoin moving up in price, Ethereum moving up in price, and losing dominance to altcoins, meaning altcoins are outpacing both of those. Okay. That's the actual definition of alt season. And so that's what we're expecting to come in the future. And we'll draw parallels to where Bitcoin dominance was at in a second here. I just want to familiarize y'all with this chart. So let's go ahead and review Bitcoin dominance right now. All right, so here is that same spike back in 2020. And the reason I'm saying look out for a move in Bitcoin dominance is because we do have momentum curling up on the weekly time frame. We have the chart looking decent for a move as well. But let's jump to the monthly time frame as well. When did this move occur in Bitcoin dominance? When did the spike occur? Well, we were already in oversold territory, or sorry, we were already in bearish momentum territory when this happened. Where are we currently on Bitcoin dominance? We are in bearish momentum territory. Suppose we can cover this fractal here as well. So this is the same exact fractal, pulling from this area in here. If we overlay it on the current price chart, I guess that's the weekly fractal, sorry. Add it to the weekly chart. All right, so it's not a perfect fit, but if we kind of shuffle it around here, right, you can kind of see when this would have came in, when this little bottom would have been put in, something like that. In or around that time that a move like that is possible. Looking back to the one example, we do have, I think so, especially with the confluence of our momentum down here. But I just want to frame it up for the context of you guys shouldn't be worried about it. Okay, so we're going to keep Bitcoin dominance on chart here. I'll say, hey, name me some altcoins that you guys like. You guys would probably name Ethereum as one. I would hope. I would assume you guys would name XRP. Gotta have the XRP in there before I upset anybody. And you guys would probably name maybe a meme coin or something like that. Go with Doge. So we'll go ahead and add some stuff to the chart. I just want to show you guys that this wasn't necessarily bad for the market, or this wasn't bad for the market. I don't think that. Okay, so taking where this spike came in the market, or where it began to come in, obviously, I'd basically be saying that this is like this candle in here. So I'm just taking where this low came in before the spike that we talked about. You can see no matter what asset we're looking at, good for the markets. Now I want to talk a little bit about why this might be the case as well. Again, another reason for why you shouldn't be worried. People fear Bitcoin dominance spikes because a lot of times when that does happen, their altcoins are getting wrecked. When Bitcoin dominance spikes while Bitcoin's price is dropping, yes, your altcoins are getting decimated. Now, when Bitcoin dominance spikes while Bitcoin's price is rising, that doesn't mean what am I trying to say? That doesn't mean that your altcoins are getting decimated. Just means that a majority of the altcoin market is not outperforming what Bitcoin is doing at that time. Now, there's very few times where we see Bitcoin dominance getting a spike like this while price is rising. Now, why this is important is because this is actually a very strong signal that you're within a strong crypto environment. If Bitcoin's leading the charge, now I know it's not the most fun, but it's the most sustainable. Me personally, there's a lot of times where yes, I would rather Bitcoin be up 3% and have my ETH up 2% if it meant that it was going to continue for 5 or 6 days, then have Bitcoin up 2% or 1%, my Ethereum up 10% even, knowing that my Ethereum is likely going to sell off because the market isn't in a sustainable point. So what kind of price action, what kind of movement was happening while we were getting this spike in Bitcoin dominance, right? So again, this spike kind of came in here. I'm not using this as a case for a Bitcoin bottom, but you guys should know that I'm leaning towards Bitcoin bottom already being. So one thing you obviously see a low had been put in for Bitcoin when this started happening, when this started occurring. But the other thing to note is this was the start of these parabolic rises, these massive days in Bitcoin. This is a 7.5% day right here. This is a 10% day right here. 5% day, 6% day, 5% day, 4% day, 8, 10, 7, 7. These were very large moves in Bitcoin in a single daily candle. Okay. Now, the only time that's going to show up is, like I said, when Bitcoin dominance is rising into a strong Bitcoin environment. Now, what does that set us up for? Like we showed at the beginning of that, or of the beginning of this video, I almost said carry trade safety. Once this thing does top out and find a peak in here, it has meant a lot of fun for the market. Not just the same as Bitcoin dominance rolling over, but seeing everything rolling over together, money flowing out of Ethereum into altcoins, money flowing out of Bitcoin into altcoins, money flowing out of stables into altcoins. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I went on longer than I thought I would, but hopefully you guys took the end of the video, found it enjoyable, and make sure you guys don't worry about a spike in Bitcoin dominance. Click the link in my bio to get access to my free newsletter. Catch me in my free Discord, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.